4th Commandants of the U.S. Marine Corps. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to General James Conway.
Greetings to the patriots of Iran and their supporters from throughout the globe. The organizers have asked me to be brief, so I'll offer you just 3 quick thoughts. First, the regime has had a tough year. The sanctions, unfortunate as they are for the good people of Iran, have had dire effect on the regime. Gross domestic product is off 15%. Oil exports are down over 250%. The real is at 50% of its previous value, and inflation is at 45%. Other speakers have talked about the brave protesters in the street in November and January. I won't repeat their courageous story, but I would challenge all of us in attendance here to name one other civilized nation that, when its people go to the streets to express displeasure, shoot them dead in the streets. The answer is there is no other country that does that except for Iran. The Iranians attempted a strategy in the fall and winter to attack oil infrastructure in the Middle East in an effort to provoke the United States and/or Saudi Arabia to overreaction. We didn't take the bait, and the strategy failed miserably. As we stand here today, key facilities in Iran are under attack. Within the last 6 weeks by an unknown enemy, and yet the government seems powerless to do anything about it. And Madam Rajavi and others have spoken about the hearings that are now underway in Belgium. I won't elaborate except to say that it should be an embarrassment to a nation every day that those hearings convene. The bottom line is the people of Iran have to at some point be asking themselves, isn't there a better way forward? Secondly, the NCRI has done much over the years to correct what's happening in Iran, and yet you, as patriots of that great nation, are still not able to return to the country of your birth. My point is, I encourage you, don't be discouraged, because revolutions simply take time. The Russian Revolution was 6 years. The French Revolution lasted 10 years. The Chinese Revolution, 12 years, and the American Revolution was 20 years in the making, with 8 years of fighting. So I urge you, don't lose faith and endeavor to maintain the momentum that you already have. Continue to focus on winning the Iranian army to your righteous cause. And I would encourage you to reach out to the mothers of Iran. Women are centerpiece and are in some ways the strongest part of your movement now, but those mothers are concerned about the future for their children and even for their grandchildren. And if they understand your approach, I am convinced you can win them to your side. I'll quote a great American humorist that said, quote again, "Men will be moved to action when women make up their mind." Finally, on 3 January of this year, your movement was handed what I think was a tremendous gift, and that gift was the death of Qasem Soleimani. The man had the mentality of an assassin, and he was incredibly vicious in carrying out his duties. But none can argue that he was also extremely efficient and effective at what he did. It's said that he was the second most powerful man in Iran. Certainly, I think he may have been the most notorious in the government and in the military. I fully suspect that Khamenei had big plans for Soleimani after he left the Republican Guard to include top leadership positions in the country. For those reasons, I suspect that he was killed for what he had done, to include the direct involvement in the deaths of over 600 U.S. military service members. He was killed for what he was doing, and that was spreading death and destruction really throughout the Middle East on behalf of Iran. Now, I think also he was killed for what he meant to the future of the regime. And that, in my mind, was decades of more hardliners in the city of Tehran. These things I surmise, I cannot say for sure. What I can say for sure is that when your fellow Iranians take to the streets for what will be the last time, they will not have to face Qasem Soleimani at the head of the Revolutionary Guard. Thank you for the opportunity, and may God continue to bless your cause.